Okay, I don't know where did the connection drop or not. But anyway, what I was saying was that character is defined as that we get rid of our spiritual sicknesses. And I mentioned a few spiritual sicknesses. I gave a few examples as to what spiritual sicknesses are. Cowardliness, stinginess, lack of control of anger, lack of control of desires, lack of control of tongue, lack of control of our gaze, etc. So Allah Ta'ala wants that we develop our character. Allah Ta'ala wants that we get rid of our spiritual diseases. It's part of our deen. It is essential part of our deen. It is one of the 5 elements of deen. So I was mentioning that Aqidah, beliefs, is number 1. Rituals, ibadat are 2. And then there is there is akhlaq, character, mu'amalat, as to how do we deal with each other, how do we make contracts with each other, and muasharat, how do we live with each other. These are the 5 basic elements of deen. I don't know of a 6th one. This is what deen is all about. But unfortunately, people generally speaking, they consider only as beliefs and as rituals as their deen. And they think that, they don't need to do anything else in order to follow their deen, which is so unfortunate. That's why this question comes every once in a while: how do I balance my deen and dunya? Why does this question arise? How do I balance my deen and dunya? Deen and dunya are two different things. Deen and dunya is the one and the same thing. My dunya is my deen and my deen is my dunya. Right? When I sit with you, when I eat dinner with you, that's my dunya and that's my deen. I need to know that how should I have dinner with you? How should I talk with you? What should be my tone? How should I react on certain things? That's all deen. This is deen and that's dunya. This question is not a valid question for me when people ask that how do I balance between my deen and dunya, because they are not two different things. Unfortunately, we have misunderstood our deen and we have not understood that character building is part of our deen. That's an essential part. And I gave this introduction a couple of years ago as well when I started that. But what I wanted to focus today is that the science of our religion that focuses on character building is something called Tasawwuf. This terminology, Tasawwuf, is unfortunately, you can say that there is a lot of dirt on this terminology. There's a lot of dust that has been put on this. There are many people who think that this is a bad terminology. Say, oh, he's in Tasawwuf. And they will, first thing first, if they don't know about this terminology, they will ask Imam Google that, oh, what is Tasawwuf? And guess what will it tell you? It will tell you that there is some person sitting with a long beard and an imamah, possibly, maybe an attire like myself. And then he will be there and some people will be around him and they'll be jumping around. And they will come to him and he will just put his hand on somebody and they will start shouting, screaming, dancing. There are many videos. Somebody actually sent me a video recently that he said, oh, is this the Tasawwuf? Right? And there was a bunch of people like that sitting together and jumping, dancing around and things like that. So this terminology, Tasawwuf, is something which has a lot of dirt on it, unfortunately. But this is not what Tasawwuf is. Tasawwuf is about character building. One of the names of the terminology Tasawwuf, the science of Tasawwuf, is called Ilm Akhlaq. This is the knowledge of character building. There are other names as well that has been given to it. Ilm Ihsan is a science of developing excellence within you. What is Ihsan? Ihsan, as per one definition of the Prophet ﷺ, is that أَن تَعْبُدَ اللَّهَ كَأَنَّكَ تَرَاهُ فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَاهُ فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ. that you worship Allah in a state that as if you are looking at Allah. And if you are not able to develop that feeling that you are looking at Allah, know that Allah is looking at you. At least have this feeling. People should have this state of abdiyat with such a state that they should have at least this feeling Allah is looking at them. This develops excellence in people, right? If I'm here and all of you are, say, my students, and I'm here sitting as a teacher, the way that you will behave is very different, as compared to if I leave the class. And people who are students, they know what I'm talking about. When teacher is there, people have absolutely different attitude. When teacher leaves, they have a different attitude. Some is acceptable, some is not acceptable, right? As long as it is within the fold of Shariah and Sunnah, it is acceptable. I know that people do get relaxed and they're relatively more formal when they're sitting with a teacher, right? But what I'm trying to say is that when you are sitting with a teacher, you show the best of your personality. If we have this feeling that Allah Ta'ala is looking at us all the time, we must show the best of our personality. This is excellence. This is ihsan, right? So one of the names of Ilm Tasawwuf is Ilm Ihsan, that you are always in this state that as if Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is looking at you. This is what this Tasawwuf develops in you. It develops character, it develops ihsan, right? So don't ask Google as to what is Tasawwuf. Ask a person who knows what is Tasawwuf. It is such an unfortunate thing. And what happens is that as a result of that, when people they get to know about the terminology Tasawwuf from Google and YouTube and social media, they say, oh, no, it's not for me, because this is what they say. Well, if there are a few people who have developed this negative image of Tasawwuf, it does not mean that you leave that altogether. It does not mean that, right? If I go a few centuries back, when the ahadith were compiled, right? It was written since the time of the Prophet ﷺ, but majority of the preservation of hadith in the initial part was through oral tradition. They had extraordinary memories, and they would memorize, just like kids memorize Quran cover to cover these days. They could memorize everything that was said to them. So they would memorize that and pass it down, and they will memorize and pass it down, and it was written as well. But the formal compilation was done at the start of the 3rd century almost. So there were people who had made fabricated hadiths, who fabricated ahadith. There were people, and that is why actually these ulama, these scholars, these muhaddiseen, they thought of writing it down so that it is preserved until the day of judgment forever. One of the reasons was that there were people, some evil people who were quoting a few things in the name of the Prophet ﷺ. They said, this is the time that we filter out all the made up ahadith, all the mawdu' hadith, and put the sahih and the hasan and the da'if and all the other categories at one place, right? And take out mawdu'. There could have been 2 reactions. One reaction could have been, oh, there are people who are making up hadith, let's cut off the science of hadith altogether. What do you think, would have been a good idea? No, right? Doesn't make sense. What they did made sense. What made sense was that let's work on it. Those ahadith that people have fabricated, have made up, put it on the side, let people know this is wrong and this is right, and they put the right things at the right place in the books that we read, right? Likewise, yes, there are people who have done evil things in the name of Tasawwuf, but it does not mean that we just cut off the science of Tasawwuf. What do? We say, we go to right people, ask them what is this science, and they will tell you what is this science, and these are wrong things happening, cut it off, put it on the side, this is the right thing, let's do it. And it is important that we take this science. Unfortunately, as I said, that people have started looking at it in a wrong way, and As a result of that, there are many people who don't even consider that, and as a result of that, what's happening is that we are not developing our character. We are not developing that state. How are our prayers like? We all know that. Our prayers are nothing but some movements. Allahu Akbar, Sami Allahu liman hamida, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. We just are coming out of Ramadan, and there are people who would want to search out for those Taraweeh where they do it in 20 minutes, where they do it quickly. Why? Because prayer is a burden. 20 rakahs, oh my God, how can I do that? Extra 20, I can't even do 5. Why is this? Why is that if there is a hafiz who is praying 20 rakahs in like say an hour and a half, there will be hardly people who will be praying behind him, because prayer is a burden. Even the 5 daily prayers, people don't do that because there is no love in our hearts for Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that prayer is hard. وَإِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ إِلَّا عَلَى الْخَاشِعِينَ. Prayer is a big thing, is a burden, except on those who have khashiyat of Allah, who have a hope to meet with Allah ta'ala. They know that they're going to meet with Allah. They are preparing for that meeting with Allah on the day of judgment. For these people, prayer is not hard. But why is it hard for us? The reason it's hard for us because we have not developed our hearts. We have not developed our character. We have not developed that bonding with Allah. It is such an important science, which unfortunately there are many who have just put it on the side and have not been taking the science. They take the science, they learn their aqidah, which is good, which is the basics, of course. They learn the outward of their deen, but they don't learn the inward of their deen. They have not developed their prayers. They have not developed the depth in their dua, their supplication to Allah. They have not developed their character. And this all is taught in the science of Tasawwuf. Our character. Talking about character, talking about Tasawwuf. How do I develop my character? This is question number 2. First thing first, we need to have the knowledge of what our deen is. 2, we need to develop that character, and it is not an easy thing. How does Tasawwuf helps us in developing our character? We are saying it is ilmul akhlaq. How does it help? There are many ways that it helps us, but I want to just talk about one methodology today. And that is that everybody must look into their own selves. They should self-contemplate about themselves and be honest with themselves and try to find out what is wrong in me and what is right in me. It is absolutely important if we want to develop this character. One of the ways that this science helps us in developing our character is through self-contemplation, which in Arabic we call muhasabah. It is an absolute must. There are many people who say, oh, I want to develop myself. There are many people who come. They want to take some mashayikh as their mentors, and they say, oh, I want to fix myself. I want to do my islah. I want to correct myself. Right? But these people, they do not have time to self-contemplate. They do not have time to look into their own selves. They say they are busy. Honestly, if people do not have time to self-contemplate about and to look into their own selves, their claim that they want to fix themselves and their claim that they want to be better human beings, that claim is a false claim. It's a fake claim. Honestly, they're just saying it for the sake of saying it. They're not serious with themselves. Seriously. People must take time out for some contemplation. Honestly, you cannot lie to yourself. I can lie about yourself. You cannot lie about your own self. I can look at you and I can say, you know what, oh, the way that you are sitting looks like you're an arrogant person, right? But it may be that, you have pain and this is the only way that you can sit. Looks like an arrogant way of sitting, but there might be a reason behind it. I might be lying about you. It is a possibility. Believe me, if you seriously and honestly look into yourself, you cannot lie about yourself. But what are the conditions that I've said? You have to be honest. and you have to be serious. Not just, without seriousness, or not with dishonesty. You have to be honest. You look into yourself and you see, oh, am I a good human being? Forget about a Muslim, because a good Muslim is a good human being. Am I a good human being? Right? And be serious about yourself. And of course, you have to have knowledge as well. That's why ilm is so important. Talabul ilmi faridatun ala kulli Muslim. Gaining knowledge is mandatory on every Muslim. Prophet ﷺ said that. Why? Because how can you judge yourself if you don't even have the knowledge, the basic knowledge to judge yourself? If I don't have knowledge, what will I do? I'll look into myself. Oh, am I a good human? If am I a good Muslim? Oh yeah, I pray 5 times a day. I'm a very good Muslim. Oh, I pray with first takbir. I'm a very good Muslim. And go to tabligh. Oh yeah, I'm a very good Muslim. Oh, I have a beard. I'm a very good Muslim. I wear hijab. I'm a very good Muslimah. I wear niqab. Oh, I'm extremely good Muslimah. Amazing. There's nobody like me. Right? Without ilm, this will be their muhasabah. They will think about themselves with the limited knowledge that they have about deen, and they will judge themselves based on that. But the same person is coward. There are wrong things happening. There are people who are killing in front of them, and they cannot say, don't kill. They don't have the courage to say that. They don't have the courage to say, what, you're backbiting. You're backbiting. It's haram. It's wrong. It is a sin. It's kabira. Don't do that. They will not have courage to stop people from saying wrong things, to say immodest things, to backbite and things like that. But when they look into themselves, they are not even trying to find that cowardliness that is within them. But if you are serious and honest, and you also know that this is wrong, when you look into yourself, you know what, I'm coward. I'm bad. It's wrong. Do I really care about others? Do I care about others? If I don't even know this part of my deen, I will not even want to think about from this angle that do I care about others? And mashallah, big beard, hijab, niqab, 5 prayers, with takbir ula, studying ilm and whatnot. But subhanallah, they don't even have this much sympathy for others that they can at least try to find out if everybody around me is right or not right. One of my teachers, he told that he has seen some akabirin. Now we have to quote people 2 generations behind, because you don't see this with your own eyes. You do, but it is becoming rare, unfortunately. He said about his akabirin, he said that in India, what they would do was that on a hot summer day, people who are from India, Pakistan, they know that there are some juice carts, wo ready wala jo juice bechta hai, phalon ka, right? Orange juice, they have this machine, this hand machine, they'll cut oranges, put it, and they squeeze it, and put some ice. I'll not want to drink from that because the way that they wash their glasses, but anyway. But that's what they do, right? Very hot, and these people are still, who buy from them? Who buy juices from them? People who can afford, who have some money. You will find them stopping by, buy a glass of juice and drink it and quench their thirst. He said, I've seen my akabirin. I'm talking about ulama, I'm talking about mashayikh. One day they will just fix a day in their week, because they're busy, of course they can't possibly do it every day. One day a week, what they will do is they will go, say on a weekend, and they'll go to this cart person, this fruit selling juices, and say, you know what, I buy everything that you have on your cart for today. Everything I buy. Say, how much is all of this? You're selling juices, you say, for example, you have 100 oranges, and just making it up. You have 500 oranges, and you are going to, how many glasses of juices will it make? You'll say for example, 100, right? 100 glasses. That's what I'll sell today. He said, all right, I'll buy these 100 glasses of juices from you today. And then they will stand. Not only that, they will stand there. They will pay them the money of all what it will cost. And then they will stop those people who will not have that power, that buying power to buy juices, and they will specifically stop. A rickshaw driver, some person driving a rickshaw, stop, come here. So what's up? Here's a glass of juice for you. And he said, my teacher said he will be amazed. What? Is he joking with me or something, or what? Making fun of me? And then people around who know that this alim, this sheikh, this Maulana, this mufti, he comes and does it every week, he will just make him understand, you know what, no, he's not kidding, he's not joking, he's not making fun, take it. And then he will drink it. A person pulling a cart, with all sweat, he'll stop him, come here, have a glass of juice. He'll stand there for much of the time in hot summer day and will offer them a glass of juice. It's not a made up story. My teacher has seen it with his eyes. That's what they did. And not only that, what I tell you next is, I don't know how could they even do that. These poor laborers who will be pulling their carts, for example, they'll be sweating. Not only they will offer juice, they will take a handkerchief, a tissue paper or whatever, and they will wipe their sweat. And he will cry. Allah. And they were not making it up. They were not just showing off. They were not just doing it for others. They were doing it for Allah with sincerity, with honesty. Is it in me? I'm caring for others. Am I caring for people? Am I thinking about them? Do I know what's going wrong with them? Do I know that, if you are sick or not? You are my friend, you are my teacher, you are my student, you are my relative. Do I care about you? How are you? What's going on? I've not seen you for a while. Right? How many people do actually care? Look into your heart. Contemplate. Self-contemplation. I don't care about people. I'm selfish. Look into your life, into your day from Fajr to Isha, or from the time that you get up and until the time that you sleep at night, and see, where does my day go? Right? Is it only spent in messaging and WhatsApping and even just reading books? Reading books is not bad, but if we are only focused on my own books and my own selfish desires, be it good desires, right? Where is this part in our deen? Where is caring about others? Where is thinking about others? It can only come if we look into myself and have an honest review of my own self. I don't know how do you spend your day, but how do you spend your day? Right? There are some people, as I said, they want to correct themselves, they want to do their Islah, they want to develop their character, and they want to take the science of Tasawwuf. And what in Tasawwuf you also do is you take a mentor, you take a Shaykh, right? And you ask him to help you to develop yourself. Because there are some things that you can't look at your own self as well. There are a few things, very few though. Some people think that they have fixed this thing, but in reality they have not. And partly is because of lack of knowledge. Should this mentor, this Shaykh also tells you that, this is what is in deen, this is not what it is the way that you think of it, this is what it is in reality. So fix your way of thinking. So this is also what the Shaykh does, the mentor does, because he has the knowledge of deen. He tells us as to what deen is really about, and then you go and then you self-contemplate again based on the knowledge given to you by Shaykh. But at the end of the day, it's you who is going to fix yourself. Shaykh cannot do anything. So this is the truth of character building. So there are people who come to the Shaykh and they say that they want to do their Islah, they want to self-correct themselves, but they will say, what, I do this good thing, this good thing, this good thing, but then they don't have time to take out for others and help others and care for others. So do I do that, or do I not do that? We have to look into our hearts, right? How many of us actually We have so much love of dunya that we cannot spend on others. It's so hard for us to spend on others, as I've just said before at the start. We have to look into ourselves, look into our heart, and ask myself, when I spend in the path of Allah, how easy it is for me to spend on others. Say giving gifts. I'm just picking examples here. I'm not be covering end to end. My whole focus is that we need to look into ourselves. And we need to ask ourselves a few serious questions. And be honest with ourselves. Right? When we give gifts to others, say for example, our women folk in the house, generally they deal with gifts in the families and stuff like that. They actually take care of the family bondings, and they should. Right? When a wife, when she comes, she should manage her relationship with her in-laws, the mother of the husband, the sister of the husband, and her own family as well, her own real mother, her own real sister, etc. So generally a good woman, a good girl, she takes care of relationships. This is part of her being good, that she does that. Right? Now, when they're deciding as to who should I give gifts to on Eid day, for example, right? What sort of gifts am I looking for? I should ask myself, right? I start thinking of, Eid is coming, I have to give gift to the child of fulan, of my relative, for example. I've seen it myself, so that's why I'm quoting it. They will think about, what did she give to my son on last Eid? 100 dirhams. All right, so let me give 100 dirhams to her child as well. Is it gift, or are we doing some sort of a business? We have to ask ourselves. Right? Why? If she gives 101, the heart becomes heavy. Oh my God. 1 extra dirham. Some people actually deal in fills and pennies. I asked you to, please, can you get me a bottle of water from downstairs? Here are 5 dirham bill, right? Say, I hope it doesn't go this expensive, but say the bottle is 4 dirham 75 fills, for example, right? And you bring me a bottle of water, and I say, where are 25 fills? People deal in fills, pennies, come on. Sahaba never used to deal with changes. That's why, there are some hadiths that you find that there is a conflict, outward conflict. This hadith, say for example, says that this much, I'm just making it up, that this much is, say for example, 67. And this hadith says the same thing is 70. And you say, is it 67 or 70? Actually, it's the same. You know why? Because Sahaba didn't care that it's 70 or 67. For them, if it was 67, it was 70. And generally, they will do what will be good for others. Say, for example, I have to give you 67, I'll give you 70. And if I have to take 67 from you, I'll take 60. They never dealt in tens and units, sorry. They dealt in maximum tens, not units. For 67, it was 70 or 60. Generally speaking, I'm talking about. Right? But this is our state. 1 extra dirham, few extra fills puts a big burden on our heart. I have to look into myself seriously, with honesty. If I am having burden, I'm feeling burden, my heart is becoming heavy when I spend on others extra, that means I have some serious issues, some serious character issues. Believe me that. And nobody can fix us other than my own self. I cannot force any of you to go and spend extra. It will be only you who can force your own self to go and spend extra on others. But for that, I need to be honest. This is called muhasabah, an absolute must. There is a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, it's in different books of hadith, that Prophet ﷺ said, Al-kayyisu man dana nafsahu wa amila lima ba'da al-maut. Al-kayyisu man dana nafsahu وَعَمِلَ لِمَا بَعْدَ الْمَوْتِ وَالْعَاجِزُ مَنِ اتَّبَعَ نَفْسَهُ هَوَاهَا وَتَمَنَّى عَلَى اللَّهِ. Al-Kayyis means intelligent. Intelligent is he, man dana nafsahu. Now, dana in Arabic language can mean one out of two things. One, that dana means to subjugate something, to lower something, to lower something. So one understanding of this hadith is that intelligent is he who lowers his nafs, yani his internal desires, who subjugates them and acts for what is coming after death. وَعَمِلَ لِمَا بَعْدَ الْمَوْتِ وَالْعَاجِزُ, and he is foolish, مَنِ اتَّبَعَ نَفْسَهُ هَوَاهَا, who let his nafs go after his desires, and وَتَمَنَّى عَلَى اللَّهِ, and has hopes in Allah, vain hopes in Allah. Yani, for example, Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi gives a very beautiful example of this. He says that all of us believe that Allah Ta'ala is Razik, yes or no, right? But if somebody starts thinking that I will have no sabab whatsoever, neither a gift, nor an inheritance, no business, no work, and one day I'll get up in the morning and say, I'll have 1,000,000 dirhams under my pillow, Allah is Razik, what will you call this person? Huh? Very intelligent? Foolish, right? Stupid. It's not sanity. After this dunya is Darul Asma, has to come from somewhere, right? Allah Ta'ala is Ghafoor. Allah Ta'ala is Rahim. He is forgiving. He is merciful. And you don't do anything. You don't make any effort whatsoever to attract the forgiveness and mercy of Allah. And وَتَمَنَّى عَلَى اللَّهِ, have hopes in Allah, vain hopes in Allah. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying, likewise, he is foolish. He's letting his nafs follow its desires, do whatever, look at whatever, say whatever, do whatever, and then say Allah Ta'ala is Ghafoor and Rahim, forgiving and merciful, and Allah will forgive. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying he's foolish. He's foolish. But let's go to the first part of the hadith again. Al-Kayyisu man dana nafsahu. Intelligent is he who subjugates his nafs, who lowers his nafs and acts for what is coming after death. But the other meaning of dana is to bring something close. Is to bring something close. ثُمَّ دَنَا فَتَدَلَّى. In Surah Najm. وَكَانَ قَابَ قَوْسَيْنِ أَوْ أَدْنَى. Right, to bring something close. Another meaning of the same hadith is Al-Kayyisu, intelligent is he man dana nafsahu, brings his nafs close. وَعَمِلَ لِمَا بَعْدَ الْمَوْتِ, and acts for what is coming after death. How do you bring your nafs close? By closely watching it, by closely monitoring it. Imam Tirmidhi rahmatullah alayhi in his book has understood the second meaning, and in the explanation of that, he said that he quotes Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu's quote, that Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu used to say to people, hasibu qabla an tuhasabu. People, take account of yourself before your account is taken on the day, Yawm al-Qiyamati, on the day of judgment. Hasibu qabla an tuhasabu Yawm al-Qiyamah. Take account of your own self before your account is taken by Allah on the day of judgment. He used to say to people frequently, do your muhasabah before your muhasabah is done by somebody else. So it is absolutely essential and important that we all be honest with ourselves, and every single day we must take some time out and with all honesty we look into ourselves and see what's going wrong with me. And believe me, if you don't find anything wrong with yourself, go to your shaykh. First thing first, take a mentor, take a guide, and tell, I think I'm an angel. I'm an angel. And tell it to him with the niyat of telling something wrong about yourself, that look, something is seriously wrong with me. I think I'm an angel. I don't find any issue in me. It's something wrong. It's not good. What do people, people do take their shaykh and they do take their mentors, and they come and their rabata, their conversation with their shaykh is they tell all good about themselves. They see dreams. There's some very nice dreams and there's some not very nice dreams. They will just pick and choose and tell only the nice dreams. You know what, last night I saw that I was walking in the paradise. One student came to one sheikh and he said, what, I saw a dream that I was walking in paradise. The sheikh said to him, next time if you see such a dream, say la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Say a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. So that student said, maybe sheikh is jealous of me or something. That he doesn't see such dreams and he found me seeing such a dream, he's possibly jealous. But anyway, he was a student, so next time he again saw the dream, he was walking in paradise. He remembered the words of his shaykh, he said, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Suddenly the dream finished. He got very concerned, went to the shaykh. He said, shaykh, I did what you said and the dream finished right away. What was that? He said, shaitan was showing you that dream. He was making you arrogant. He was making you feel as if you are the best of the best and you are already in paradise and eating the fruits of paradise and driving the boats of paradise with jewels and pearls and all of that. It was shaitan. That's why I said what I said to you. But anyway, people just tell the good side of their story and not tell, really they don't want to correct themselves. They don't say anything that is for their Islah, that they are really trying, making an effort and are failing, and then they tell, what, something is seriously wrong with me, I'm not able to fix myself. Can you please help me? What should I do? And part of that is that, I look into myself and see, all right, nothing is wrong. That's a wrong thing. Because this is not how Sahaba did, and this is not how even the Prophet ﷺ was like. What is the sunnat azkar of right after the prayers? Prophet ﷺ used to say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Allahu Akbar, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah. Why did he say istighfar thrice after his prayers? Because he did not see his prayers worthy of being presented to Allah. He saw that his prayers are not right, they're not worthy. He said, Astaghfirullah, Ya Allah, I could not pray the way that I should have prayed. This sunnat as well. Sahaba were like that. Look at the caliber of Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh, and Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anh, and Sayyidina Usman radiallahu anh, Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anh, and all Sahaba radiallahu anhu ajma'een. And if you look into their states, and there are Sahih ahadith in Sihah Sitta, in the six famous books of hadith, you see them the way that they were like. Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, who is buried right next to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. He was his companion in the cave while in Hijrat to Medina Munawwara. Allah Ta'ala mentioned about him in the Quran. Thani Asnain idhuma fil ghar. Allahu Akbar. Mentioned there are other ayat that have also come down for Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh. There are ayat that have come down for Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anh. لو كان بعدي نبي لكان عمر بن الخطاب radiallahu anh. If there was a prophet after me, it would have been Umar bin Khattab. Right? What caliber? Sayyidina Usman, Dhun Nurayn, is the one with two lights. Who were those two lights? Two daughters of the Prophet ﷺ, who were married one after another to him. And when the second daughter also passed away, Prophet ﷺ said, Uthman, if I had a third who was not married, I would have married her with you as well. A person of such high caliber. Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anh, who is the son-in-law of the Prophet ﷺ, who he loved very much. And their state, if you look into their state, they used to cry. Looking at themselves, and they found themselves as not right. Famous story of Sayyidina Hanzala radiallahu anh. He was on the streets, Nafaqa Hanzala, Nafaqa Hanzala. He was crying out loud on the street of Medina Munawwara. that Hanzala has become munafiq. Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu, he heard that. He came out. He said, what's wrong, Hanzala? Why are you saying that? And not only that, he was thinking, he gone into such a state that it forced him to come out in the streets, and he was saying out loud, I have become a munafiq. What's wrong? Why are you saying it? He said, you know what? My state is so different. When I'm in the company of the Prophet ﷺ, my state is different. When I come home and I'm with my family, my state is different. This is hypocrisy. I'm a two-faced person. I have a face in front of the Prophet ﷺ and a different face in front of my family. It is nifaq. It is hypocrisy. That's why I'm saying I'm a munafiq. Sayyidina Abu Bakr said, Hanzala, so is my state. Looks like I am a munafiq as well. Who is saying it? Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. The second or the first person in the ummah, the most virtuous person in the ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The second after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is saying it. They both go to the Prophet and tell him with honesty, not telling, oh, how great am I. Nafaqa Hanzala ya Rasulallah. Sayyidina Abu Bakr said, I'm the similar state. What's wrong? This is wrong. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, it is natural. Don't worry. Don't worry. It is natural. It happens. It is like that. When you are in the company of the Prophet, you are in my company, the state that you are in is supposed to be different when you're back home with your family. Sa'atan wa sa'atan. Times change. Times are different. Don't worry. But look at the state of the Sahaba. This is what I'm trying to tell. Look at the way that they thought about themselves, and look at the way that they were honest with themselves. And that only came through self-contemplation and looking. They realized that their state is different. How many of us actually realize that my state was different in Ramadan as opposed to today? Have we reflected on our states? We are what? Last Sunday, so today's Friday, is almost what week? 11 days into Shawwal, almost, right? 13 days into Shawwal. Only 13 days. How many of us, I'm not asking to raise hands, but how many of us have actually reflected on our own state and has compared that to our state that we had in Ramadan? And possibly we have forgotten what our state was in Ramadan. You know why? Because it is 13 days. If I was thinking about my state every day, on 1st of Shawwal, on Eid day, how was my state today as compared to yesterday? And then had compared on the 2nd and the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th and all the way to 13th of Shawwal, if I reflected every day, I would have noticed the difference as to what's going wrong. It might be a decline, already a decline. It's only 13 days since Ramadan. We were supposed to take the power, the spiritual energy of Ramadan until next Ramadan. This is what our goal was in Ramadan. But maybe it's already at a sharp decline. But how do I know? Only I know if I am serious about myself and I'm honest with myself and I'm thinking about myself every single day of my life. Every single day of my life, people. So please, I request all of us that we must take some time out. We must take some time out and have time for some self-reflection. There has to be a time between us and Allah, irrespective of who we are, people. You are a CEO of a company. You are a manager of a company. You are a director. You are a business owner. You are an alim. You are a mufti. You are a sheikh. You are a student of knowledge. Whoever you are, as long as you are a Muslim, and I actually, if people who are not Muslims are there listening to me, as long as you are a human being, please take some time out, must take some time out for that self-reflection and self-contemplation. Please, there has to be a time. One of the things, as I said, Tasawwuf is about character building. It's a science of character building. I'm talking about the real science of Tasawwuf, not the fake one. what is recommended when you take that science, when you step in, that we are given some ma'mulat to be done. Ma'mul means a schedule, a routine, a daily schedule, a daily routine. And in that is that there are some askar given. There's some zikr that is given that you do. For example, what we have been taught by our mashayikh, by our teachers, is that you do at least istighfar 100 times, right? So it's something to be done every day. Istighfar 100 times, which is sunnat, right? So istighfar that is given is astaghfirullah rabbi min kulli dhanbin wa atubu ilay. That I seek forgiveness of Allah from every single one of my sin, and I do tawbah to Him. I return back to Allah. So 100 times. How should it be done? I should think, reflect. What did I do since yesterday? Oh, I didn't talk to my parents properly. Astaghfirullah rabbi min kulli dhanbin wa atubu ilay. Oh, I didn't talk to my wife properly. Astaghfirullah rabbi min kulli dhanbin wa atubu ilay. I did not talk to my husband properly. Astaghfirullah rabbi min kulli dhanbin wa atubu ilay. Oh, I didn't control my gaze properly. I was looking at the internet and I was doing my project and something not nice popped up and I looked at that. Astaghfirullah rabbi min kulli dhanbin wa atubu ilay. There was an opportunity to do something good. I did not make use of that opportunity. Astaghfirullah rabbi min kulli dhanbin wa atubu ilayh. This is how istighfar should be done, ideally. Not what some people ask, can I do istighfar, cooking? Can I do istighfar driving? Can I do istighfar? You can. It's not that you can't. You can. But then, as long as it is with some reflection. Some people say, astaghfirullah, 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 oh, assalamu alaikum, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. They're moving their beads and astaghfirullah. Our mashayikh say that we need istighfar for such istighfar. This sort of istighfar demands an istighfar. We should beg Allah for forgiveness for doing istighfar in such a way. What a joke, isn't it? It's very similar to, I always give this example, that your son does something wrong, right? That's really wrong. And you say, my son, this is wrong. Or say, if he has done something wrong with my wife, his mother, I say, you have not behaved with your mother well. Go and say sorry to her, right? And he say, all right. And he's going to go and start jumping, sorry, 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 sorry. Do you think, what will mother say? Hug him, oh, beta, no issue, it's okay, don't do it again. Possibly get more angry. Is this a way to say sorry? This is exactly how we do istighfar to Allah. Astaghfirullah, 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 astaghfirullah. It's not a joke. Astaghfirullah. Ya Allah, I'm sorry. I seek your forgiveness. Please forgive me for the wrong that I've done. Have a guilt in the heart. Have guilt. You can do the way that you want, but with some self-reflection. What I've done wrong? I'm sorry, Ya Allah. And likewise, the second thing, the second ma'mul, the second zikr that we are given to be done on a daily basis is salawat on the Prophet, durood as we call it in Urdu. Salutation on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Right? To send salutations and salam on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam should be done with love. There has to be a feeling in the heart that I'm sending my salutation to the Prophet. The angels are going to take my salam and are going to present it to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's a gift to the Prophet. We should wrap it with love. We should wrap it, our salutation, in the gift wrap of love, because this gift is going to be presented to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is not that we just randomly start, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, don't even know what are we saying. Have to think about as to what we are saying. And likewise, the third ma'mul that we are given is recitation of Quran. And Quran is also not that, I start and I end and I don't even know what I've recited in the middle. Tadabbur, tafakkur, some contemplation as well. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Allah Ta'ala says, why don't they contemplate on the Quran? Is there a lock that is put on their hearts? Are their hearts sealed with a lock? Allah Ta'ala is is saying. Why don't they contemplate on Quran? So when you read Quran, I always encourage my friends, those students to come for their self-development, I said, please recite Quran every day as part of your daily routine and schedule, but also contemplate on Quran. Have to have at least a good translation with you and some footnotes. And I always encourage this Quran by Hadith Maulana Mufti Muhammad Taqi Usmani Sahab, Damat Barakatuhum. In English, he has his translation and his commentaries is in the name of the Noble Quran. There are multiple Noble Qurans. The Noble Quran that I'm talking about is by Maulana Mufti Taqi Usmani Sahab, Damat Barakatuhum. Or in Urdu, it's called Asan Tarjuma Quran. It's very good translation in English and in Urdu, and with some very useful side notes. The khulasa that I did, the summary of Quran that I did throughout Ramadan, all of you who have heard that I did daily, I basically prepared from that. Generally a few other sources as well, but generally majority of that was coming from that. So very beautiful translation and a very beautiful side notes, at least some tadabbur, some tafakkur, some contemplation. So all three with some contemplation, istighfar the most, with some muhasaba, likewise durood, likewise Quran. And the fourth thing that is given is all about contemplation. It is something called muraqabah. Muraqabah means to watch over something. Literally in Arabic language it means to watch over something. Right? Raqib is the one who watches you very closely. So what is done in muraqabah? Muraqabah, what is told is that we close our eyes, we forget about everything. Forget about your job, forget about your food, forget about the routine of the day, forget about everything for some time. For some time, forget about everything. Close your eyes, just sit with this niyat, this intention, that as if Allah Ta'ala's mercy is coming onto my heart, and as if my heart is doing the zikr of Allah with the name of Allah. Just make this niyat, nothing else. Intention as if my heart is saying Allah, 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 and as if I'm listening to it. You watch your heart doing zikr. That's why it is called muraqabah. You watch your heart doing zikr. You don't do it. Don't move your tongue. Don't do anything. Don't say it in your head. Just watch your heart doing zikr. Just sit with this niyat. There are thoughts that come, initially a lot of thoughts that come, but if you keep on ignoring those thoughts, slowly, gradually, those thoughts will start diminishing. It won't go away 100%. For some they do, but for many they don't. But forget about it. Focus. It's such a powerful zikr of the heart, muraqabah, that slowly you get into the habit of actually remembering Allah all the time. That element of ihsan, that you are in a state that as you know that Allah is looking at me all the time. With this muraqabah, it's just a means, it's not a goal, by the way. It's a means to get into that state, which is the goal, which is that Allah is looking at me all the time. And once you get into that state, that is ihsan. That is the state of excellence as per the definition of the Prophet ﷺ. And that will help us in keeping our character right, in keeping our attitude right. So this is an important science, the science of Tasawwuf. To help us develop our character, that is the goal. To help us develop our character and help us that awareness of Allah. These are the two goals, by the way. To help us to have the awareness of Allah all the time and to help us develop our character. So please, but it's the one thing that I mentioned in the science today is to have some time for self-contemplation and self-reflection. Muhasaba, as we call it in Arabic language. Hasibu qabla an tuhasabu yawm al-qiyamati. Have some muhasaba, have self-contemplation, have self-reflection, as Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, before that your accountability is done by Allah on the Day of Judgment. So please learn, folks, get knowledge. What deen is. It's not only about rituals, it is about muamalat as well, it is about akhlaqiyat as well, it is about muashrat as well. It is about others. Deen is not about being selfish. Believe me, if people hoard wealth, they may feel satisfaction, but the satisfaction that people, when they develop their heart, the satisfaction that they have by spending on others is more than what they get by just hoarding wealth. You can give yourself time. When you give others time, you feel more satisfied when you give others time, right? You can rest, you may feel at peace while you're resting, but when you make an effort and go out and help somebody else, when you struggle for somebody else, you are tiring yourself for somebody else, believe me, you feel more satisfaction by tiring yourself for others as opposed to resting in your bed and in your couch, right? But this comes with ilm. People have not tasted that. People don't know, right? So first thing first, we need to have the knowledge of all of that. We need to have ilm, and then we have to then execute on that ilm. We have to do amal on that ilm. But for that, we need to do two things: continue to make an effort, and then also keep looking into ourselves as to where do I stand. This is absolutely important if we want to become those people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from all of us. May Allah ta'ala give us all tawfiq to understand the whole deen, the complete deen, the sciences of the deen, the science that also includes character building, ilmul akhlaq, ilmul ihsan, the science of excellence, and generally known as ilmul tasawwuf. And please don't get bothered by all of these wrong things that are happening out there. Just cut them out, right? Just find somebody who you have known for some time, who you know is a person who only acts on Shariat and Sunnat, and who teaches Shariat and Sunnat. And I strongly encourage everybody to take such a person as your mentor, as your guide. To do again, I don't have time to talk about everything, but there's a concept of taking bayat, to hook up with him formally, and there is barakat because that's a sunnat act. When you hook yourself with somebody formally by taking bayat of tawbah with him, and to develop yourself, there is a lot of barakat that comes, and it helps actually to develop our character. May Allah Ta'ala make us understand all of this, inshallah, and also have a big heart, people. It's also part of our self-contemplation. And one of the things, as I said, some people are reading books all day long and don't care about anybody, and they think as if they're doing a good thing, right? But they're missing out on such a big thing. And there are people who are into some part of, who are serving deen in some shape or form, or they're acting on deen in some shape or form, but then what they do is they think that what they're doing is the best and everybody else is doing wrong, right? If I'm, say, for example, teaching deen, and there is somebody who is going on tabligh, for example, I say I'm the one who is doing the best thing. But look at him, he doesn't even know the scholars are the inheritors of the prophets and whatnot. I think of myself as better than him. Here's my destruction right there and then. And or vice versa. There are people going in tabligh and they think what they're doing is the best of the best, and everybody else is wasting their time. They don't even know how should we spend our time. When they think of themselves as better than others, that's their destruction right there and then, etc. So for that, we all need to learn, and then we need to look into myself, my heart. Is it that I am possibly looking down upon others? It may be there's some air of arrogance in my heart sitting somewhere, right? But that will not come, that will not be known until people do their reflect on themselves with seriousness, with honesty. And if we really want to correct ourselves, people, be good students. That's another thing, the last thing that I want to say. Be good students. Another calamity, there are many people who say that they want to correct themselves. You correct them and that's it. They become your enemies. Seriously. They are good students as long as you say, oh wow, wonderful, mashallah, what a beautiful beard you have. Oh, beautiful topi that you wear. Huh? Mashallah, amazing. As long as you keep on praising them, they're good. They want to take you as teacher. The moment that you correct them, what is this? And then they start thinking bad about you. Say, I get a lot of wasawis about you. I'm so sorry. What is that waswasa? And why did you talk to me in such a serious tone? That is the waswasa. So be good students as well. Be honest students, right? Really those who are really concerned about yourselves, inshallah. This is something that we all need to achieve, character. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's something that we must have, inshallah. May Allah Ta'ala give us all tawfiq, myself first, that I understand the importance of character building and the ways of developing character, all of the ways that are according to Shariat and Sunnah. And I actually take it upon myself and work on myself and all of us, inshaAllah ta'ala. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Inshallah, we'll make dua. And before dua, let's all do tawbah from all the wrongs that we have been doing. Let's make serious tawbah, sincere tawbah. So if you can all recite these kalimat with me, with the niyat, with the intention of tawbah, inshallah. So basically it is the renewal of our iman and asking Allah Ta'ala for forgiveness of our sins. So if we can all say that together with the niyat of tawbah. And if there is anybody who wants to take bayat, they can also make an extra niyat of bayat as well alongside the niyat of tawbah. So if you can all say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, Amantu billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi wal yawmil akhiri wal qadri khayrihi wa sharrihi min Allahi ta'ala wal ba'thi ba'da al-maut. Amantu billahi kama huwa bi asma'ihi wa sifatihi wa qabiltu jami'a ahkamihi iqrarun bil lisani wa tasdiqun bil qalb. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Astaghfirullah rabbi min kulli dhanbin wa atubu ilayhi bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. I already mentioned these mamulat, these azkar that our mashayikh have taught us. Istighfar, astaghfirullah rabbi min kulli dhanbin wa atubu ilayhi, 100 times at least. If it can be done morning, evening, that's the best. At least once a day. Durood, salawat, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Again, ideal is that it done twice a day, but at least once, at least 100 times. Recitation of Quran with some contemplation and muraqabah, right? As much as you can. Start with like 10 minutes or so and then increase the time, inshallah. Okay? And last but not the least, as I've said, don't forget your goal. And goal is that we should have the awareness of Allah all the time. Every single moment I should know Allah is watching me. Every single moment. And it helps, right? If, say, for example, I'm getting angry and upset at something. My wife said something to me which I didn't like. There are two responses. I can shout and scream and say some wrong things, or I can be patient and forgive, right? So I'm sure that if it was here, that your wife was here and she did something wrong that triggered your anger, I'm sure you're not going to scream and shout to her right here. Yes or no? Huh? Why? Others are watching. Generally, people are looking. If I tell myself, you know what, Allah is looking, I will have a similar response. And so is to the wives, right? And everything. So please develop that awareness. Allah is looking. Remind yourself over and over and over and over again. And especially when there is an urge to do a sin, when there is urge to disobey Allah, when there is urge to do anything wrong. Just remind yourself, Allah is looking. Take care. All right? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ونبينا محمد وبارك وسلم. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, please accept this gathering from all of us. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, Ya Allah, people who have come, people who are listening online, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, please accept their intention of coming, their sincerity that they had. Ya Allah, the ikhlas that they came with, the talab that they showed. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, please, because of their sincerity and talab, Ya Allah, please accept this gathering from all of us. Ya Allah, the lack of sincerity that I had, Ya Allah, the slip of the tongue that I had, Ya Allah, all the shortcomings that I had in delivering this, Ya Allah, I beg you for forgiveness. Ya Allah, but I still beg you that you please still accept it from all of us, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Ya Allah, once again we have done tawbah from the wrongs that we have done in our lives. Ya Allah, please accept our tawbah. Ya Allah, please fill our hearts with your love. Please fill our hearts with the love of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Please fill our hearts with the love of Quran. Please fill our hearts with the love of those people who love you. Ya Allah, please fill our hearts with the love of all good actions that can take us to your love. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Ya Allah, please allow us to understand the purpose of life. And Ya Allah, please allow us to live our life the way that you like, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, we beg you that you please accept us for the service of your deen. Ya Allah, we know that we are not worthy to serve your deen, but we also know that it is not about qabiliyat, it is not all about qubuliyat. Ya Allah, we beg you that you please accept us and provide means from your infinite treasures to serve your deen, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, please save us all from all shurur and all fitan, all evils and all sorts of tests and trials, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, please protect us from the harm of all evil humans and jinnat and all the other makhlukat. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, please also accept our families and our children and our generations to come, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, give us all the best of this dunya and akhirat, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Ya Allah, all of those who are sick spiritually or physically or psychologically, Ya Allah, please give them all perfect cure and speedy recovery. Ya Allah, especially, Ya Allah, we beg you that you please remove this pandemic. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, we know it is because of our own sins that this calamity has come to us. Ya Allah, we beg you of forgiveness and we beg you that you please remove it and please protect us all from this disease, Ya Allah. And all those who are sick, wherever they are in the world, Ya Allah, whoever he is or she is, Ya Allah, we beg you that you please give them cure and speedy recovery, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Ya Allah, all those of Iman who have come back to you, Ya Allah, generally and especially with this disease, Ya Allah, we beg you that you please give them the status of a martyr, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, please have mercy on our parents. Rabbirhamhuma kama rabbayani saghira. Ya Allah, our parents who have passed away, we beg you that you please forgive them and raise their ranks. And Ya Allah, our parents who are alive, please allow us to serve them, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Ya Allah, please to make the last stage of our life the best stage of our life. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Ya Allah, we are in need of dunya and akhirat. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, please provide us means from your infinite treasures with barakat, with afiyat, with khair, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, please also give us those helpers who are sincere, Ya Allah, and who participate in our work of deen, Ya Allah, with sincerity and with love, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, with wholeheartedness. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, please provide us selfless people, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, make us selfless, Ya Allah. Please make us from those people who are always there to serve others, Ya Allah, who are there to serve us through any means that you have provided to us, either be through our wealth or through our time or through our strength or through our knowledge, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, please please allow us to serve others, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Ya Allah, please save us from being selfish people and make us selfless people, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Ya Allah. Ya Allah, please open the masajid, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, please allow the masajid to be opened, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, it was our fault that, Ya Allah, Muazzin continued to call us to the masjid and we did not go to the masjid. He said, Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala falah, and we did not respond to the call. And today the masajid are closed and we are deprived of this blessing. And Ya Allah, we beg you that you please open the masajid and also allow us to go back to go to the masajid for every prayer, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, please also open Haramain Sharifain. Ya Allah, we thank you for the opening of the Rawdah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, for the opening of the Masjid Nabawi, Ya Allah. We thank you from the depth of our hearts, Ya Allah, for that blessing. Ya Allah, please open Haram as well, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, and also please allow us, Ya Allah, to visit Haramain Sharifain with love, with respect, with the kayfiyat of Iman, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, we take our hearts to those places, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Please allow us to visit those places again and again, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. We beg you, Ya Allah. of all good of this dunya, your rida, your pleasure, your contentment in this dunya. And Ya Allah, especially when it is time to go back to you. Ya Allah, we beg you that you please forgive us first. And Ya Allah, allow us to recite kalima first, put that desire of meeting with you first, and then take us back whenever it is time to go back to you. Ya Allah, make the questions of the graves easy for us. Make the grave easy for us. Make it from the gardens of paradise, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, please make the day of judgment easy for us. Give us your shade when there will be no shade. Please give us water from the blessed hands of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Please provide all of us his intercession, his shafa'at. And Ya Allah, gather all of us in Jannat al-Firdaus under his feet without reckoning, without questioning, Ya Allah. And give us all your everlasting pleasure and your perfect vision, Ya Allah, in paradise. Ya Allah, we know we don't deserve all of this, but Ya Allah, if we don't ask you, who do we ask? We beg you that you please grant us all whatever we are in need of, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. All those who have asked for du'as, Ya Allah, please give them all what they're in need of. People who are in issues, have problems, difficulties, are sick or whatever, Ya Allah, please. Ya Allah, please give them the best, remove their problems, Ya Allah. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم صلى الله على النبي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين والحمد لله. جزاكم الله خير.